Your favorite player and your favorite player's favorite player have returned to fight for the championship. What am I talking about? Let me explain. I'm, of course, talking about the Capcom Pro Tour. We are nearing the tail end of the 2024 season, and 6 out of the total 10 offline qualifiers have already been decided up until this point. Punk taking Evo, Mena RD taking Cream City Convergence, Kusanagi winning Ultimate Fighting Arena out of France, Itabashi Zangief taking East Coast Throwdown, and Shuto and Nephew taking the first and second place qualifying spots at CPT Singapore Super Premier. Now we have the next and final Super Premier of the season, which is, of course, Super Premier Japan. Over 1,200 entrants at this tournament, including basically every top Japanese player you could possibly think of, and a handful of international players to boot. This is absolutely the most stacked event we've had since CPT Singapore, which was just a few weeks prior to this one, and it includes a lot of notable entrants like little old Brian Nephew. I actually was able to go out to Japan for the very first time on a personal vacation with my significant other, and we happened to make a day trip out to Chofu in the outskirts of Tokyo to participate in this event. But beyond that, there's a lot of household names at this tournament, including Bonchan. Bonchan was actually the very first match they kicked off this tournament with. Bonchan versus his opponent here, Itagaki, a modern Lily player. And here Bonchan is up a game and a round with a perfect on set point over Itagaki, when it looks like, wait a minute, suddenly it's 1-1 in this set here. Itagaki brought it back from almost certain defeat, but Bonchan is once again on set point here. Itagaki in the corner, wakes up, finds the heavy punch conversion into the Spire, gets the command grab on Bonchan, one knockdown conversion away. Bonchan wakes up DIs, but the button into DI counter response from Itagaki, and what looked like originally almost a guaranteed defeat, suddenly it's tied up, one game, one round apiece, final round between these opponents. But Bonchan here has Itagaki in the corner, places the fireballs effectively. He's going to spend the drive reversal there on the enhanced Spire to avoid the plus frame scenarios, puts Itagaki in burnout, and secures the win with the fireball game. But that was a dangerously close loss there, round one, for a legend in the Street Fighter community, and just shows the depth of talent at this tournament. You might recognize a lot of names in this tournament, but there's a lot of names you probably don't recognize, and they're extremely strong players capable of making big splashes and big upsets, which in fact, of course, does happen all over the place. All these matches here were off stream in the round one pools. Dharma Manon beats Falcons NL Kuma 2-1. Daizo with Zangief beats Goichi. Jujuju with Dalsim beats Daigo Akuma 2-0. Kurobichi with Terry beats Itabashi Zangief 2-1. Haskell Manon beats Nephew, who just qualified for Capcom Cup in CPT Singapore a week or two ago, 2-1. And Taro with Terry beats Lex 2-0, and there's more upsets to boot. So all these upsets are happening in early pools waves, but because for some reason with the bracket structure, even though there's 3 people out of the pools, they end up going into the same bracket after. So we end up with another situation like I pointed out in ECT, where there's a lot of double jeopardies and runbacks happening early on in bracket. So a lot of these players were out for revenge, including Daigo, who actually ends up eliminating Jujuju, the Dalsim, and put him into losers earlier, 2-0. And Nephew also is on stream here, going up against Haskell, the modern Manon, mind you, who put him to losers earlier. Here, Nephew lands the level 3 on Haskell when it's 1-1, final game, final round between these two players. He puts Haskell into burnout. Needs to get him to the corner. He can get a guaranteed stun DI because Haskell has no super meter available, and there it is. This is a checkmate situation. Drive rush medium to DI, gets the combo. Heavy punch into DI, gets the stun. And Nephew gets his revenge on Haskell, put him into losers earlier in the bracket. And here Nephew says, managed to avoid the double jeopardy by the 2,200 MR modern Manon. These are the players that are unseeded in these pools. 2,200 MR, which is almost impossible to achieve, even for like the best NA players like Nephew in America. Japan does have some MR inflation, so it's easier to get super higher ranks relatively, but you know, it's still an extremely strong player, unseeded in this bracket, who ended up putting Nephew into losers earlier. Nephew gets his revenge there. But not everyone is so lucky with the double jeopardy situations. Here's my poll, for example. I went up against the winner of I'm Still the Daddy and Takeda. I'm Still the Daddy out of Europe, one of the best Guile players out of Europe, actually loses to Takeda for his first game 2-1. I end up playing Takeda, beat him 2-0. I lose to RJT, really strong jury player, 2-1. And then in losers, I win a round before going up against Takeda again. Modern Marissa here, where he eventually beats me 2-1. So good games to everyone I played. GG Cicada. But just shows you how, for some reason, with the 3 out in pools, you end up kind of still playing each other right away. But another player who wasn't so lucky in pools was Itabashi Zangief. So even though I only made it to round 2 and got 193rd out of 1,200 plus players, Itabashi Zangief, Capcom Cup qualifier, the winner of East Coast Throwdown, also did just as good as me. So that obviously means I'm as good as Itabashi Zangief, Capcom Cup qualifier, and ECT champion. That's the math. You cannot deny it. No way around it. Moving on to day 2, though, we have a lot more exciting matches coming our way, including Tokido versus NoahTheProdigy. Tokido, household name, and NoahTheProdigy, who's been making a name for himself with not only his unique burnout rushdown style gameplay with Luke, but also his rambunctious attitude. Here he is facing the wrath of Tokido. Down a round and a game here. Tokido gets the burnout. Dragon Lash pressure here. OD Jinrai mix-up. OD Jinrai mix-up. That is a gnarly position to be there. And I think, Noah's liberal use of his drive meter actually really came back to bite him here. Being in burnout against Ken when he has OD Jinrai on top of you is just an extremely dangerous position to be in. The mix-ups are real at that point. And the chip also is a huge factor, and Tokido ends up taking the set 2-0 over NoahTheProdigy. But he's not out; he's in losers, and this brings up an interesting point a couple of weeks back, because Noah is also a participant in Street Fighter League US, which is airing right now over the next couple of weeks. Here he is from a recent quote: "The FGC needs me. It's boring ASF. Nobody wants to watch Higuchi play Guile all day. That's boring ASF." I don't know what Higuchi has to do with it, but Noah throwing stray shots at Higuchi, saying that the FGC needs him to spice things up. And it turns out that these two were on a crash course to meet each other at this tournament. Here's Nemo with the photo, the inside scoop. Oh my god. Higuchi sitting down next to NoahTheProdigy to play. You see there in the bracket at the bottom. Higuchi actually eliminated at this point Zhen, who got 3rd place at CPT Singapore, is out in round 2 of pools. He's top 6 at EVO, 3rd place at CPT Singapore. One of the best players out of the Esports World Cup, has been eliminated by Higuchi, who got top 8 at Esports World Cup as well, and now has to play NoahTheProdigy this early in the bracket. Well, how does it go down? Does Noah live to regret his words for calling Higuchi boring? Well, he ends up actually taking the set over Higuchi 2-1 last game, last round. So Higuchi might have been fired up by his words to show him some exciting gameplay. Maybe that cost him in the end. Who's to say? The match happened off stream. The world may never know the details. Moving on in the bracket, though, we can see actually another champion, Shuto, who just won CPT Singapore in 1st place and qualified for Capcom Cup, is here in round 3 of pools. Ends up taking the set 2-1 over Kobayan, who is the reigning Topanga League Japan champion with Zangief, but ends up dropping to losers right before top 16 winners to Fuudo 2-0. And then on the loser side, has to go up against TS in the Akuma Mirror. Here we have TS in burnout here, but on set point, Shuto misses the link. The driver's crushing light kick into crushing meaty punch should combo and should have given him the round, but because of the drop, he ends up going for this DI on the burned out TS, and TS reacts on a dime with the level 2 and eliminates the CPT Singapore champion, the last Super Premier champion, Shuto, in losers bracket. But moving on to the rest of the top 16 qualifiers into top 8, we have nothing. Here, High Fight highlights the problem here. 3 out of 4 top 16 winners matches off stream as the players are lining up to play off stream. All of top 16 winners are playing off stream. Yeah, so for some reason, a huge portion of this broadcast was left off stream. Many of the matches were not aired, and I have therefore no highlights of any of the top 8 qualifiers from winners. They just simply did not play off stream. So instead, the best I can do to you is show you the bracket. Machabo versus Ryukichi. Machabo takes that 2-0. Mago over Gachikun 2-0. Momochi versus Leshar. Momochi wins the Ed Mirror match 2-1. And Tokido takes the set over Fuudo 2-1 as well. We do have at least one top 8 qualifying match, and that is on the loser side of EndingWalker versus Fuudo. EndingWalker has kind of been the Ed Slayer. He was the original Ed in the end game of Street Fighter V, who really took that character to its highest level. Since then, in Street Fighter 6, many players have gravitated towards Ed, but EndingWalker seems to be the one consistently knocking down the best Eds to remind the world that he is that guy. You know, he beat Momochi and Evo top 8 to secure his third place finish. He ends up beating Leshar in the last CPT Singapore Premier to get into top 8 loser side, and now he's up against Fuudo, the other top representative of Ed. But this time we see here it's 1-1, but Fuudo's up around on set point. EndingWalker throws out the level 2 to gain the advantage. Gets the throw, pushes Fuudo to the corner, gets another throw on the parry attempt, has the corner, but the wake up buttons from Fuudo, the Abara. He gets the counter hit jab to crouching light kick link, cancels to the OD blitz into the level 3, and EndingWalker, after having multiple Premier top 8 finishes and doing a real world tour, is eliminated at 9th place at CPT Japan here, and has to fight another day to try to find his way into Capcom Cup. Since he didn't qualify out of his region, EndingWalker, even despite his consistent performances, still has 0 qualification spot to his name, and Fuudo moves on to top 8 losers side. To round out the rest of the losers qualification matches, we have Leshar 2-0 over Hikaru, the best Japanese Aki, Gashikun 2-1 over Torimeshi Dulcim, and Ryukichi 2-1 over ChiaoHai, the Esports World Cup champion. Ryukichi, remember, actually put Punk into losers, or maybe he eliminated him, I believe, actually at Esports World Cup in the group stages, and at that same tournament, ChiaoHai won the whole damn thing. So that rounds out our top 8 qualifiers. We have Machabo versus Mago, Momochi versus Tokido, Fuudo versus Leshar, and Gashikun versus Ryukichi. So getting into the winner side of top 8, Machabo versus Mago. Machabo rocking his Akuma now. Mago trying to fight back while Machabo is on set point here. Finds the low forward, does Machabo with the fireball pressure peppered in. Trades on the heavy. Mago finds the low forward confirm. Doesn't spend the level 3 there. Maybe a little bit greedy on that one. Machabo finds the backdash on the throw attempt in the corner. Neutral jump to bait at the throw tech. Mago does not bite. Demon flip in. Palm gets the knockdown. Throw situation for Machabo. The drive rush towards heavy connects. Mago tried to challenge with some kind of button, but it was too meaty for him. Confirmed to the level 3, and Machabo takes the set over Mago. 3-1 to put him in winners finals. On to the other side of top 8. Momochi versus Tokido. This set was a slobber knocker. Momochi actually takes the first game. Here, Tokido is fighting to put Momochi into the corner. Finds the staggered jabs. Momochi maybe trying to jump out of the corner. And look at the optimization here on this punish. So, you know, Tokido, for a long time, there's been a criticism of his Ken, where he was very fundamentally solid, but not optimal enough. Well, this punish is super amazing here. So after getting the knockdown with the Jinrai, he does the actual run, stop into meaty jab to bait out the OD reversal, because you can do meaty jabs on Ed's reversal. It's a slower reversal. And when he blocks the DP, he actually goes for the optimal DI starter into the neutral jump, into the OD Jinrai loops. All 3 OD Jinrais out there into the level 1 finisher. Very optimal punish there for Tokido, which helps him get on the board. And now here, Tokido finds himself up 2-1 versus Momochi here on set point. Trying to fight his way out of the corner. Jumps over to swap sides. Finds the low forward in the Jinrai. Doesn't burn the level 3, but then goes for the drive rush into DI setup after the Jinrai heavy kick ender knockdown. That actually ended up clashing with Momochi's wake-up crouching light kick. I think he was a little late on that. That setup is actually really clever, because after this Jinrai knockdown, if you do drive rush into immediate DI, it hits meaty so that you can't cancel your buttons into DI. He was a little late on the DI, it looked like. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but it's a really quick reaction test from Tokido there, and a clutch moment to close out the set and take it 3-1 over Momochi to put him into winners finals, and one set away potentially from qualifying into Capcom Cup. Here on the loser side, top 8, another Ed mirror. You guys tired of this mirror yet? I'm not. I'm loving it. Leshar versus Fuudo. You know, 2 heavy hitters in the Ed world these days. Fuudo getting the driver chap here. Look at the defense from Leshar, just taking all the stagger light pressure and finding the optimal opportunity to counterattack out. Still blocking it out, not biting on any of Ed's extensions on his strings. Fuudo goes for the stand medium, negative on block in this situation, so he understands that there's a high chance that Leshar, after blocking this, would want to counterattack. That's why he attempts to go for a perfect parry in this situation. But I think this attempted read is really what cost Fuudo here, because he whiffs the parry, which costs him half a bar dry meter. Gives Leshar the walk-up grab here as the punish counter, takes a bar. Now he's below a bar himself, dangerous position to be in versus Ed. Eats the meaty, and the thing about this is even if Fuudo blocked this out, Leshar was going to cancel this for sure, this stand medium into OD Fireball into level 2 to force the burnout situation regardless. So just a really nasty position on that attempted parry read, which gave the turnaround for Leshar to take this round to make it a tied up set in that situation. Leshar then takes that game and finds himself at set point 2-1 up versus Fuudo here. Fuudo in burnout. Eats the wake-up drive reversal from Leshar. Leshar now uses this opportunity to send out the level 2. What do? Do you take the chip or take the anti-air? Your choice. Pick your poison. Fuudo chooses the jump, gets clipped for his troubles, and Leshar closes out the set 3-1 over Fuudo to move on in the bracket. Fuudo is eliminated at 8th place. Now here we have Gachikun up against Ryukichi. Gachikun up 2-0 over Ryukichi. Ryukichi has a round on the board, but he's in the corner versus Rashid. Finds the perfect parry, spends his entire dry bar, goes for a Shiki reset here. Gachikun spends the OD spinning mixer to get the guaranteed punish on the the Jinrai, but look at this situation here. The run through the tornado into the level 3 Shiki situation. I mean, this was just kind of crazy here. It looks almost checkmate in this situation. You don't have enough life. You're in burnout. The chip will kill you. The throw will kill you. You can't just block it out. What do you do in this situation? Just immediate run into DP, Hail Mary, give it your all, hit confirm into the level 3. Ryukichi finds himself at the board, on the board 2-1 in the set. But, it ends up falling apart, and Gachikun ends up taking the set over Ryukichi and moving on. Here we have Mago versus Leshar. 2-2 apiece. Leshar at set point has the corner versus Mago. Finds the shimmy there. Look at the combo conversion optimization with the heavy kick flicker into the pseudo safe jump knockdown. Mago backdashes on the throw attempt. Light pressure there from Leshar to try to get in. Leshar jumps. This jump was so critical. He jumps under the jump up and the jump out of the corner here. If he had blocked the jump in, he would have been put in burnout. So Leshar is scrambling to avoid being put in burnout in this situation. But Mago smells the advantage here. Brilliant drive reversal here, by the way. So Leshar goes for the OD Fuha release, whatever you want to call it. He was going to cancel this into level 2 to force a burnout and start getting the mix with the level 2 high-low. So Leshar takes that opportunity to drive reversal to ruin the level 2 activation to get some screen space to go into burnout on his terms. But Mago then finds the early stun. No reaction, no back throw, no super reaction from Leshar on that DI. Mago then pops level 2, and it's time for Leshar to defend. He's out of burnout, though. Can he defend? He blocks the high-low double hit fuzzy right there. Defending in the corner. Finds the button to drive rush cancel. And Mago is eliminated from the tournament, and Leshar carries on after showing some great defensive decision-making in the corner there. Now we have losers quarters final. Momochi versus Gachikun. This set was brilliant, but I'm skipping here to the final game between these two players. 2-2, a round apiece, final game, final round. Momochi does drive rush into flicker, halts his momentum, catch Gachikun off guard, but the second drive rush gets interrupted. Level 2 activation, and listen, do I even need to narrate this one? You guys know how it's going. It's final game, final round, and Rashid has level 2. Of course, he's going to find the hit confirm to extend the combo with the level 2 and find the corner here. One tick throw. Momochi, what are you going to do? Tournament life on the line. In the corner against Gachikun Rashid. After the drive rush into jab, he gets the stagger, crouching medium. Converts it all the way, and Gachikun eliminates Momochi 3-2. Last game, last round. And that rounds out our top 4 winners finals. Machibo up against Tokido. Loser semis, Leshar versus Gachikun. Now, normally in a regular tournament structure, you would do winners finals at this point. However, due to the fact that this is a CPT Super Premier, the winners finals is essentially a finals match. The top 2 will secure positions into Capcom Cup. If you win winners finals and go to grand finals winners side, you are in Capcom Cup. So for that reason, they actually save the grand final and the losers finals as the last 2 sets. So they run the loser semis first here. So it's Leshar up against Gachi-kun. And here Leshar is up 2-1 on set point versus Gachi-kun in this situation. Gachi-kun goes for the safe jump. It gets perfect parry for his troubles. Safe jump in return from Leshar. Techs the throw does Gachi-kun, but he snipes out the towards medium with his own crouching medium kick does Leshar. And then with his tournament life on the line, Gachi-kun goes for the wake up level 3, which is baited out by Leshar. And Leshar eliminates Gachi-kun 3-1. Two fellow top 8 Capcom Cup 2023 finalists. Gachi-kun ended up getting 3rd place, I believe, and Leshar 5th, if I remember correctly. But only one of them can move on to try to earn their position into Capcom Cup for this season. And Leshar takes it, which sets up our final top 3 competitors here. Machabo, Tokido, and Leshar. All 3 of them vying for their position in the Capcom Cup, but only 2 can possibly take it. And when we look at Machabo, many people might not be familiar, especially in the Street Fighter community, with Machabo's achievements. He's actually the 2016 Guilty Gear Xrd champion, Evo champion, when after that, in the Street Fighter V era, he eventually transitioned to focusing on Street Fighter V as, it being kind of the esport in Japan. And he was very successful at that. In Street Fighter V, he had a number of great accomplishments, including 2 top 8 finishes at Evo Japan. And in 2019, he actually finished top 8 in both Evo and Capcom Cup. So he was a consistent top-level competitor in the late era of Street Fighter V. However, when it came to Street Fighter VI, his results didn't quite stack up to his consistent success in Street Fighter V. He had some good performances here and there, a top 24 at Evo 2023 out of 7,000 people, nothing to scoff at. But in the Japanese scene, he wasn't qualifying through the World Warrior, and he wasn't really having any super impressive performances. And also, he's a participant in Street Fighter League Japan, and unfortunately, his team, Detonation Focus Me, is last in their division. Therefore, this actual tournament might be his last shot to qualify for Capcom Cup. There is no way for him to mathematically qualify via the World Warrior anymore, unless he happens to win the last 3 and blow up out of nowhere. It's extremely unlikely that he'll be able to qualify and take that tournament. So this tournament means a lot for Machabo. On the other hand, we have Tokido. Tokido, you're familiar with. If you're watching this channel, there's a 99.99% chance you know about Tokido, and it would be almost impossible to summarize his fighting game history and accomplishments. But Wikipedia tries anyways. Tokido has achieved 29 Evo top 8 placings across Street Fighter, the King of Fighters, Tekken, BlazBlue, Guilty Gear, Capcom vs. SNK, Virtua Fighter, and Street Fighter Cross Tekken franchises, winning Capcom vs. SNK 2 in 2002, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo in 2007, and Street Fighter V in 2017. Legendary player in not just the world of Street Fighter, but fighting games as a whole. And in fact, the thing is, his performances in Street Fighter VI have not quite stacked up as well to his impressive resume before. While he has had a, I believe, 4th place finish at EVO 2023 and a top 8 finish at EVO 2024, in between those marquee events, he hasn't been performing up to the same almost impossible standard he has set for himself in the past. In fact, if you look at the World Warrior right now in Japan, Tokido is tied for 36th place with 10 World Warrior points because of how difficult and stacked this region is. So while he might be a legendary fighting game player, he hasn't quite stacked up to his previous performances, and in fact has not been to Capcom Cup since 2019. So Tokido now up against Machabo. Winner of this match will have one of these players return to the Capcom Cup for the first time in 5 years. So as we get into the match, we have 1 round apiece in the first game. Machabo versus Tokido, throw tech. Machabo forcing Tokido into the corner, goes for the DI reset after the counter hit medium, but Tokido perfect parries it, gets the corner carry with Ken's amazing conversions there. Into the corner, Machabo, no fear, wake up ODDP, but perfect parry in return of the fireball from Tokido, gets him into position to find the low 4 Jinrai confirm into the level 3, and Tokido takes the first game over Machabo in this important set to qualify for Capcom Cup. Now, both players have a round in the second game again. This time, Tokido lands level 3 in prime position to take the round. Machabo finds the perfect parry on the Jinrai low, gets the conversion to push to the corner, goes for the Oki, techs the throw, does Tokido. But after the drive rush jab, Tokido tries to challenge, reading some offensive sequence with the DP, gets punished by Machabo. He's still alive, though. Fighting out of the corner. Cross-cut on the attempted jump out from Tokido, but the shimmy was too close to the sun. Machabo for sure wanted to drive rush in range here and then bait out this throw with the walk back, but the spacing was just so that the immediate wake-up throw from Tokido snatches him out of that situation, and Tokido ends up going up 2-0 against Machabo. Now we have another final round situation, but this time it's Capcom Cup qualification point for Tokido. In the corner, or in mid-screen here, both players. Look at the confident walk up, playing the footsie game. Tokido takes the space, finds the low forward drive rush conversion in the corner. Challenge after the medium from Tokido does Machabo. Side swap. Side swap again. Drive rush button. Wake up OD fireball to knock Tokido down. Working on a burnout is Machabo, but he misses the low forward, gets whiff punished for his troubles. He wanted to force a burnout situation here for sure. Tokido on point with the whiff punish, gets to confirm to the combo, and Tokido takes the set 3-0 over Machabo to earn his qualification into Capcom Cup for the first time since 2019. But the tournament's not over yet. There's one more spot remaining. Machabo now up against Leshar. Machabo's in the hot seat. The way they structured this tournament, you have no time to mentally recover. If you lose in the winners finals, you drop to the losers finals and play that match right away. And now it's up to one of these two players to win this set to earn the final spot into Capcom Cup. And now Machabo's opponent is Leshar. Now, unlike Tokido, Leshar is kind of a newer face in the Street Fighter scene. But it's interesting. They share a common ground. So let me explain. Leshar kind of blew up on the Street Fighter scene after winning the Group of Death in Capcom Cup 2023, Group F. In that group, we had Leshar, Mena RD, Angry Bird, Nair the Boxer, Kaba, and EndingWalker. And Mena RD and Angry Bird, the EVO finalists in the same group. Kaba and EndingWalker, two of the most prolific top players in the scene, and Nair the Boxer, a strong, if not underrepresented player in this group as well. Nobody predicted the winner of this group to come out on winner's side would be Leshar. Leshar at this time is competing out of Korea, qualified out of the Korea World Warrior Regional Final, playing Chun-Li. Leshar ends up taking this group, losing only to Kaba, and takes the winner's side spot in this group with Chun-Li. He then goes on to actually finish in 5th place for this Capcom Cup. And then since that performance, he actually ends up switching to Ed in Season 2. He takes kind of a dip in results during this time as he acclimates to this new character, but quickly ramps up to become one of the most consistent top players in the world. Getting 3rd place at the mix-up, winning the Esports World Cup Last Chance Qualifier, having a strong performance there, getting 9th place, and getting 9th at CPT Singapore. But beyond that, he's performing much better in a little region known as Japan. At this time, Leshar actually moved to Japan to compete in Street Fighter League Japan. And not only is he competing in Street Fighter League Japan, he's competing on Team Reject with Akira Torimeshi and Tokido. Tokido and Leshar are teammates in Street Fighter League Japan. And not only are they teammates, they're dominating. They're currently the number 1 ranked team in their division with a 7-1 record and 245 points. Second place is 6-2 with 210 points. They are head and shoulders above the competition right now. In those 8 matches, Leshar appeared in every single match and only dropped 1 set. He has, I believe, the number 1 rank in the entire league, the number 1 record, with the most amount of wins versus the least amount of losses. So he is dominating in this region with Tokido. And in fact, a big point of this is that he sacrificed his ability to qualify for Capcom Cup by moving to Japan. Because he moved to Japan, he can no longer participate in the Korea World Warrior events, which is how he qualified for Capcom Cup last year. Therefore, he has to qualify via one of the limited 10 spots in the offline CPT season. So just like Tokido and Machabo, this might be his last chance to actually earn his qualification into Capcom Cup. So let's get into the match. Losers final, Machabo versus Leshar. Here we have the fireball battle between these two players, both a round apiece. Counter hit conversion from Leshar to get the DP knockdown, gets the punish counter throw in the parry, but wake up level 3 from Machabo in the face of death for this game. Gets the knockdown. Nearly even life between these two players. Walk up throw from Machabo. Double perfect parry on the charge fireball from Leshar. Gets the shimmy right there, converts to the DP, and Leshar takes the first game in a very, very close interaction right there. 1-0 Leshar. But here we have Machabo fighting back here. Leshar down in the situation. Finds the hit confirm into the OD blitz, into the level 2. You know what time it is. Dream combo time. Look at the damage, too, from the heavy into the blitz right there. Huge damage. Leshar now has the corner. Heavy DP through the air fireball. Machabo fighting back from the corner here, trying to avoid Ed's great mid-range game. One fireball peppered in. Walks into range. Finds the low forward. And despite that huge combo, Machabo is able to close out the game to make it a tied set, 1-1. Here we have Leshar up around here in the next game. Critical round here. Going up 2-1 in the set is a huge advantage. So Machabo gets the drive rush in for the pressure, chases down the jump back with the towards heavy punch, but the partial charge heavy hit confirm counter hit into the OD blitz. And not only do we have a dream, we have the corner carry as well. Big damage here. Machabo facing death right there. Challenges with the Abare, the counter hit jab conversion to the Tatsu to the level 3. Not only is it a level 3, it's a CA. Puts Leshar into burnout in return. Can he harass? Can Leshar defend? The sweep interaction that's only -8 in burnout and space, so Ed's punishes actually can't reach, so that was a spacing trap there set up by Machabo. But the charge flicker through the fireball game gives Leshar the round, gives Leshar the game. 2-1, Leshar versus Machabo. Now we have Leshar here on Capcom Cup point in the corner on defense versus Machabo. Can Machabo tie it up? You know this is gonna hurt. You know this is gonna hurt. Through the light string, Machabo tries to challenge and in return eats the raw OD blitz. And then Leshar not only goes for the dream, he goes for the Shin dream. This is the most optimal possible dream conversion. This is extremely difficult to pull off. Not only do you have to manually time the juggles after the OD blitz, you have to land the perfect frame 3 cancel on the second hit of OD blitz into the actual level 2. If you cancel too early or too late, you will not get this proper juggle. So this is a 1 frame cancel onto the level 2 activation. And then the manual juggle timing to set up this actual perfect combo. So this combo, absurd damage from the raw OD blitz starter, but nearly impossible to pull off, especially in a tournament setting. Leshar, 1 interaction away from qualifying the Capcom Cup, eats the cross-up. Machabo gets the combo. CA conversion, stays alive in the set. So even though Leshar nearly had the perfect highlight reel to qualify in the Capcom Cup right there, Machabo stays alive, fights back, and has another shot at potentially qualifying. But now we have the next round. Machabo has Leshar in the corner, trying to keep control, converts, and confirms from the heavy punch charger combo. 1 throw. 2 throw denied. Leshar wakes up with the level 3. These guys have no fear. There's been so many wake-up level 3s and CAs during this whole event. Now Leshar has the lead. 1 throw away will take it for him. Walks away from the walk-up throw. Finds the conversion, and Leshar, with his hands to his head, can't believe it. He's finally qualified to Capcom Cup. So he went around the world to make this happen, but it actually ended up being in his new home in Japan, where he actually ends up taking the spot. But it's not over yet, because we still have grand finals. And you might have thought that these two players, Street Fighter League teammates, wouldn't put on a show. But boy, do they give it their all. It's grand finals time. Tokido versus Leshar. Here we have the first game here. First round to Tokido. Walk under the jump as Leshar gets the conversion into the level 2. Safe jump combo set up here. goes for the safe jump. NT jump throw is denied. Wake up level 1 from Tokido to side swap here. Run overhead. Big shimmy. Finds a full conversion. And that is the first game closed out by Tokido, going up 1-0 over Leshar. And it's personal. Remember, at Esports World Cup, Leshar actually ended up eliminating Tokido with a 3-0 victory over Tokido. So Tokido definitely wants this run back. Here we have the next game here. Pay attention to the tech demonstrated by Tokido here. Perfect parry on the meaty flicker into the Tatsu to escape from the corner. Playing the mid-range game again. Well-spaced fireballs from Tokido. Run Tatsu to bait out and punish the charge flicker backdash into the level 1 conversion to take the first round of the second game. This sequence was ridiculous. So the mind game here is, as soon as you see the charge flicker occurring, you do run into Tatsu, and it's projectile invincible. If he releases the flicker, the Tatsu will go through it. But if he tries to dash forward or dash back out of the flicker, he's committed to one of those 3 options at this point. It'll still chase down even the backdash and get a full counter hit punish. So amazing tech there from Tokido with Ken, showing it off here in the grand finals. And he's now up a game and a round. He ends up taking that game, and now he finds himself at tournament points, potentially getting a 3-0 over his teammate Leshar here. In the corner, Leshar's defending against the Jinrai. In burnout is Leshar with his tournament life on the line. Tokido gets the tick throw right there. Goes for the cross-up level 3, but he was late on it. That would have closed out the set and given Tokido the tournament win. Instead, now Leshar is fighting back, gets the level 3 conversion of his own to try to escape the burnout. Tokido now in the corner, slightly down in life. Gets the low forward confirmed, does Leshar, and he's finally on the board. 2-1 now. Leshar versus Tokido. And on to the next round here. Tokido less than a throwaway from going down here. Leshar representing the charge flicker in the fireball game. Again, run Tatsu to punish the charge flicker. He has found the answer to the mid-range game in the Ed-Ken matchup here. Gets the full conversion. Now Tokido, he can sense it. 1 round away from closing out his first CPT Premier event in Street Fighter 6. Leshar trying to stay alive here. Perfect parry in the fireball from Leshar. Tokido chasing him down. Perfect parry on the Jinrai. Optimal starter, but drops the charge flicker conversion on that perfect parry punish. Leshar getting a little greedy, spending the drive meter. Tokido takes advantage with the heavy punch, drive rush to put him in burnout. Pushes him to the corner with the combo conversion after the Dragon Lash. Wake up level 3 again. These players are not scared, but Leshar's in an extremely dangerous position right here. He spent his entire super meter to survive that one interaction, but is still in burnout. Heavy punch of DI will be checkmate. There he gets the crumple on the flicker, misses the combo, but it doesn't matter. The follow-up DI is guaranteed. Straight into the level 3, and Tokido, the Murderface, closes it out, is the winner of CPT Japan, qualifies for Capcom Cup, and has his first CPT Premier win in Street Fighter 6. What the little celebration there in the pop-off. Tokido, the Murderface, has returned. And after 5 years, Tokido has returned to Capcom Cup. In the post-game interview, though, he had some kind words to share. Tokido says here, "We practice together at the office every day. Not 5, but 7 days a week. I'm happy to face him in the finals as we've been pushing each other through friendly rivalry. This time the result favored me, but he hates losing, so we'll both come even stronger in the future." Very kind and generous words from Tokido about his opponent and teammate Leshar. But with that said, Leshar and Tokido are your qualifiers in the Capcom Cup, and Tokido is your Street Fighter Super Premier Japan champion. That's all I had for this video. Please let me know what you thought about this tournament in the comments below, what you thought about Leshar and Tokido's run, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.